Mike O'Donnell?
Oh, man. So this is kind of an emergency that almost lands you on the Darwin Awards type of emergency. I went to some nothing like state school up in the mountains in PA, and you know, and this is really just kind of an emergency just because it dealt with like this area. Which, you know, I grew kind of fond of this area growing up, but you know, so I was in a fraternity, and it was around Olympics, and actually they decided to have like a mixer for like an Olympic themed mixer with one of the sororities. So I didn't know beer pong was a sport, you know, but work on that later. But actually, so you know, but some people had like, you know, like fake medals and stuff like that, and like one guy had goggles on, so it was, you know, it was cheesy and ridiculous, but you know, whatever. But one of my friends actually took a fold-out table and folded it up and bobsledded down the steps, which is, you know, and right into the foyer, actually crashing into like the heater of the foyer. So really, when I saw it, I was like, this is the most fun thing I've ever seen in my life, you know. So now, once he brought the table back up, I was like, you know, I went in, you know, and the voice of reason should have said, you know, we should limit the amount of people we should allow on the table. But I'm pretty sure the voice of reason was throwing up in the corner at the time. So we all pile on the table, and I'm in the middle. And right away, it's obvious that, you know, this isn't going well because it's slow, and it's not going down the steps. And then it went from boring to an emergency when the table broke, and I got stabbed. It's an emergency theme, people. So I knew I was hurt, like, immediately, and I'm like, oh, God, like, you know, my pants are ripped, and I'm like, you know, I need to go to the hospital. And there's always that one guy who's like that, who's like, shake it off. Fine. And at this point, I actually hadn't seen the injury, so I actually pull a couple of my friends aside and, like, you know, pull down my pants and you know, lift my junk up, and there's a small vagina there. And now the guy who's saying shake it off is throwing up with the, you know, with the voice of reason in the corner. So now the new Olympic event is finding out who's sober enough to drive me to the hospital. So it's pretty much just trying to figure out that, and it's one of those things. So finally, I was able to put it together, and now I'm like walking like a cowboy, like, you know, I'm in the Olympics, and I'm kind of just thinking, like, you know, as I like saunter into the car, like, do I tell the doctor this? Because, you know, I mean, it's kind of awkward just to be like, yeah, this is what happened. I just didn't even know. I had to be straight with him because I don't know how you can get an injury like this in any other way, really. So I get in the car, I go to the hospital, and it was just one of those things where, you know, I go and I get stitched up, and the doctor finally, after he stitches me up, and I mean, I was just like in emergency mode, like, oh my God, but he stitches me up, and he just, after he's done, he just looks up, he's just like, do you know how lucky you are? And it really didn't even cross my mind before that, but I was just like, wow, yes. Now that you say that, yes I do realize how lucky I am. So, little tip, if you are going to bobsled down steps, keep the 3 people, because that's the generally safest method, I'm thinking. But it all worked out, and I am functioning in this area. Thank you.